Alright, hey guys, what's up? This is Sports Talk 123, and today we have a very big story coming out of the MLB. I know it's kind of rare to have Major League Baseball stories around this time of the year because it's kind of off season, everything's kind of slow, there's not a lot of deals or anything going on. But the story today isn't so much going to have an effect on the 2012 season, but it's still a very big story nonetheless. That is because Tim Wakefield, right-handed knuckleball pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, has retired today after 17 years in the major leagues. Now, obviously, going to go down as one of the best knuckleball pitchers, if not the best knuckleball pitcher of all time. Something very unique that a lot of people don't know is Tim Wakefield was actually coming up in the major leagues as an aspiring first baseman, but pretty much people around the major leagues and the minor league stuff pretty much told him he has no future as a position player in the major leagues. So at that time, he was determined to still make the majors, so he decided to start uh, establishing a knuckleball. So it's kind of interesting that he wasn't always a knuckleball pitcher, that he had to develop his knuckleball at an older age sometime in the minors. He hadn't always been throwing the knuckleball. And then he ends up being one of the best knuckleball pitchers of all time. So that's just very interesting there. And I really didn't know that until this story broke. I had never heard that before, but once I started looking into it, that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, he ends up his career 200 wins, 180 losses. Got his 200th win late in the season last year. Uh, However, he was 1-10, or he only had one win in his last 10 major league starts, but that doesn't really tell you the full story because many of those last 10 starts, he had leads and he gave the Red Sox a chance to win, but the bullpen blew the leads and things like that. And he actually did a lot better at the end of his career than the stats are going to show. But yeah, so as it is, he only won one of his last 10 starts, but that's not very accurate. He's retiring with a 4.41 ERA and 2,156 strikeouts. 4.41 ERA is not that impressive, but the 2,156 strikeouts is very impressive for a knuckleball pitcher, and 4.41 ERA isn't terrible for a knuckleball pitcher because many of the times as a knuckleball pitcher, they're not asking you to hold the team to 1 or 2 runs because you're just hoping your defense can do something. But every once in a while, you are going to give up home runs and big hits and stuff. So ERA is kind of thrown out the door for knuckleball pitchers most of the time. Now, Tim Wakefield started out with the Pittsburgh Pirates, played 2 seasons with them, but then was released and was almost picked up immediately by the Red Sox in 1995, and it ended up being a great pickup for the Boston Red Sox because in his first year in Boston, Tim Wakefield went 16-8 and finished third in the American League Cy Young voting and 13th in the MVP voting. And then he just went on to have a great career with the Boston Red Sox. He'd win 16 games again in 2005, won 17 games in 1998 and 2007. Just great stats, great win-loss ratios for a knuckleball pitcher, just all around great stats. In 1995, he had a 2.95 ERA, also had a 2.81 in 2002. Towards the end of his career, he had some bad ERAs. He didn't have an ERA under 4 in the last 8 years of his career. But again, ERA, not that big of a deal for a knuckleball pitcher. But still, Tim Wakefield retiring today, like I said before, isn't going to have that much effect on the 2012 Major League Baseball season because he got a invite to spring training, but didn't have a guaranteed roster spot. The Red Sox told him he'd have to work for it, and they weren't guaranteeing him anything. And if he did make the roster, he was just going to be competing for the fifth starter spot, and really wasn't going to affect the Red Sox team very much this year. However, this still is a very big story as he's one of the greatest knuckleball pitchers of all time, one of the best pitchers in Red Sox history. He retired like 6 wins shy of the team's all-time record, which is held by Cy Young and Roger Clemens. If he would have broke that record, that just would have been very astonishing. Now just a little look at the Red Sox. They also extended a similar spring training invitation to Jason Varitek, the soon-to-be 4-year-old catcher, and he kind of has the same options. He can either choose to accept their spring training invitation, not know if he has a guaranteed spot on the roster, and try to make the team, he can resign or he can retire. I'm most likely guessing he will probably be done. However, he might want to try to get one more year with the Red Sox, maybe win a championship this year, get one more championship to his name, and then go out on top. But who knows? So, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.